A lot has happened in the past few years.
You can't outrun your past, Rick.
You just see that? Yep, not our biggest problem.
Someone out there is trying to kill us.
Someone's always trying to kill us.
Long story short,
Say goodbye to the Citadel, fellas.
the universe, as we all know it, has ended. But don't let that get you down.
Oh my God, stop explaining! Stop explaining!
Are you finished?
Rick and Morty is returning with all new episodes, September 4th at 11 p.m. on Adult Swim.
Guys, Rick and Morty season is once again upon us. I don't know how Rick and Morty does it, but whenever my excitement for the series fizzles out, the show just manages to pull me right back in. Case in point, we had a huge Evil Morty episode fans waited years for. So I was thinking we were just gonna have some goofy one-offs for a while, the classic Rick and Morty subversion. But instead, the show seems to promise its most ambitious season yet, letting us know that Evil Morty shenanigans were just the beginning of a much bigger story. At least I hope. Let's get into it. And I want to start off by saying this is super exciting. Adult Swim has never teased a new season of Rick and Morty with the overarching story elements before. In fact, every plot-centric episode has historically been hidden from the marketing. I guess it helps sell all the goofy Rick and Morty merch. Whoa, don't think too hard. Here's a sticker for your bong. Wubba lubba dub dub. So it's interesting that their promos for the new season hint that everything that's come before is going to be required viewing. Like, serialization was Rick's biggest beef in recent years, which felt like the writers just giving us the finger while they continue to do what they want and fill an insane order of 70 episodes. But JK, I guess, they're finally giving us what we wanted. And I mean, don't take my word for it. Peep what Justin Roiland himself said at San Diego Comic-Con. Season 5 was a weird one. We lost Mendel. It was tough. We were thrown for a loop. That was... yeah, if I talk anymore, I'll start crying. I will say that it's a bit more canonical. It really rewards fans of the show that have been watching up to this point. So it's like, I think we're kind of finally back into the rhythm of Rick and Morty, and I think season 6 is... I don't particularly think season 5 was bad, but season 6 is fucking amazing. It really is a fucking quality season. Ooh, God. Man, that gets me so excited. The only real nitpick I had with Rick and Morty at this point was that they kept introducing really interesting concepts and then just doing absolutely nothing with them. Space Beth, Time God Jessica, the mysterious plane of existence Mr. Poopy Butthole watches his friends suffer through. The last one was a joke. Stop typing. It got kind of exhausting to see the show give itself opportunities for incredible storytelling, only to hit us with that Uno reverse card and go back to wacky one-off adventures that honestly weren't even hitting. Incest baby. What was that? But after Evil Morty obliterated the status quo with the whole breaking the Central Finite Curve fiasco, I'm happy to see the team behind the show recognize that they can't just repeat the formula of the last 2 seasons. So hopefully, with this season's ambition to reward fans for sticking around this long, we get to see a slew of characters previously thought to be forgotten to the sands of time. It actually makes perfect sense for this season to be a bit more, quote, canonical because of the broken status quo. The last episode was the halfway point for the series. 51 episodes down, 50 to go. It's crazy how much progress they made with this insane order. Rick's lost his god status, we know his backstory, and we know the show's multiverse is bigger than we ever could have imagined. Season 6 could act as a pseudo season 1. Remember season 1 when the show was new, fresh, and yet to be enslaved by ashtray corporations? I'd argue that season 1 is a huge reason why people expect the show to be a bit more continuity heavy. Because it was back then. Sort of. But that's part of what set it apart. When Morty showed Summer the grave they dug of themselves, it was so cool because at the time you didn't really know that their adventures were having real consequences or if they were just one-off shenanigans. And this solidified it. Season 1 not only had the task of establishing the world of Rick and Morty through its 11 episodes, but it frequently referenced previous episodes and went out of its way to set up a bigger picture with episodes like Rick Potion number 9 and Close Encounters of the Rick Kind. Trying to say those episode titles in a serious matter sounds kind of goofy, and that's not lost on me. Fans are a lot more divided on what Rick and Morty should be nowadays, but back then, Rick and Morty Cronenberging their universe and jumping to a new one that becomes the new setting of the show, the introduction of the Citadel, the Council of Ricks, Evil Morty, and the idea that Rick wasn't from C-137? Let's go! There wasn't a better way to hype up little high school me if you tried. What the fuck is sex? Arguably, all the pieces laid down in season 1 have been thoroughly explored and resolved. The Galactic Federation, Rick's origins, all that insanity with Evil Morty and the Citadel. We even got to revisit the Cronenberg universe in what's still the best episode of the series. They can't just rehash these plot points for a 3rd or 4th time without the show getting stale, and they knew that. Which is why they more or less hit the reset button while busting the door wide open for something new. Rick is no longer the smartest man in the universe. He never really even was, which is honestly such a good twist. Gotta give him props for that. Evil Morty has escaped to explore new dimensions, and I don't think we've seen the last of him, as this is definitely setting up our sociopathic homie to encounter the new big bad out in the multiverse. A big bad that I can just feel being tied to the rogue Rick that killed Beth and Diane, the mastermind behind it all. Space Beth was last seen beefing with the new Galactic Federation, who themselves may want to expand into the newfound universe. And we got Bird Person's daughter in space prison. This is all a ton to work with, and given the way things were left off, can't really be ignored without it being extremely frustrating. So acting as, quote, season 1 for the second half of the series, each of these plot points and more can be properly established in individual episodes, laying the groundwork for season 7 through 10 to build upon them more and more, sprinkling in the usual one-off adventures and paying off with a big finale, just like seasons 1 through 5. Is this all tracking? Does this make sense? I know our IQs are all high enough to understand this wacky fart cartoon. As for the actual promotional material, the teaser running on TV right now is mainly made up of clips from old episodes, but there's a brand new clip at the end of Rick and Morty still floating through space in what remains of the Citadel, with Morty looking like he's on the brink of death. So we can assume they've ran out of food and water. It's like the beginning of Endgame. You're not slick, writer's room that's slowly getting poached by Marvel. Rick and Morty are seen making contact with the unknown character, masked by a giant spoiler graphic, so we can only assume this is someone we've seen before. Some people have speculated this character could be Evil Morty, but I doubt we're gonna see him again so soon. I mean, there's 50 episodes left. My bets are either on Space Beth, Bird Person, someone from the Galactic Federation, or if they're intentionally making this an Endgame reference, Supernova, the last surviving Vindicator, rescuing Rick and Morty just like Captain Marvel rescued Iron Man and Nebula. But instead of a thank you, Rick and Morty give her lip instead. Supernova returning here would actually make a lot of sense, given the recently released Vindicators prequel shorts released on Adult Swim's YouTube channel. This would also be a great dilemma for the boys to be in, given that when we last saw Supernova, she was actively trying to kill them in an act of revenge before flying off from the Logic concert. Man, what a weird time in pop culture that was. As for the teaser called A Citadel Secret, featuring an ominous giant egg incubating in a tube with the remaining Citadel, accompanied with Evil Morty's theme, and the hashtag Wormageddon, and the narrator remarking the universe has ended, the reasonable conclusion is that Evil Morty's parting gift to this dimension is a bioweapon capable of bringing mass destruction upon the galaxy. But this is Rick and Morty, so you know there's gonna be some gross twist to it that'll make half the audience laugh while the other half is repulsed. And I can already see Morty and Summer's weird, nightmare-inducing incest baby being the key to taking this worm down. I hate how that sentence makes perfect sense in context. Regardless of if we're right or wrong, there's no doubt that season 6 is poised to be the most exciting Rick and Morty season in years. This time with an actual promise of what lore-starved fans want. And you already know that we're going to be around to cover every single episode of the new season, basically as soon as they air. So if you want to join the hype train and stay on top of everything Rick and Morty, be sure to subscribe to the Roundtable with notifications on so you never miss a video. But I want to know what you guys think. Who do you want to see pop back up in the new season? And what new direction do you want the show to take? It's a whole new ballgame, man, and I'm gonna savor every second. Drop your predictions in the comment down below, and keep the conversation going by giving us a follow at @It'sRetroNemo on Twitter, and at RoundtableVids on both Twitter and Instagram. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to throw it a like, check out our dope cartoon merch over at Toondrip, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.